So, yesterday I uploaded a video talking about how YouTube is continuously shooting itself in the foot with its terrible business decisions, and they hated the video so much that they automatically age restricted it, which just honestly proves that the points I made can be proven quite easily, for the fact that, like I said, unfair age restrictions can just be handed out left, right, and center. And you can't really track them down and get angry if you're a smaller creator and you don't have a large following on a different platform like Twitter. So I'm not going to try and appeal it because I've already gotten a strike and I'm still on watch for that 1-year-old video that I talked about in the last video. And I will try to very quickly just run through what I said and articulate my points nicer and not directed as hate speech. So let's get straight in. Number one, I was talking about how YouTube basically just allows people to copyright videos with minimal proof. You can basically just have 1 second of your video put into somebody else's video, and that will be enough to request a copyright removal, which is kind of ridiculous. Number two, I talked about the unfair age restrictions of YouTube and its guidelines, and just the absolutely ridiculousness of that whole situation. Number three, I talked about how they're consistently pushing down the minimum age to start creating content, and everything below that age bar is going to be just not looked at by anybody because it's obviously for toddlers, and anything above isn't going to be monetized because nobody else wants to monetize something that's ever so slightly edgy. And number four, I basically wrapped it all up and talking about how just ridiculous this whole situation is, continuing on the statement that everything is just going downhill faster than anybody can say, and that's pretty much all I said in that video. I went into a lot more detail, but I thought I'd just cover it for those who have accounts that are not labeled as over 18 and cannot watch that video, and I'm sorry. So, without further ado, let's get into the new points. I just have a couple more, and I would like to touch on whatever the heck that was. So there's not going to be any swearing, there's not going to be any accusatory remarks, there's not going to be anything like that, because unfortunately, I don't want any more of my content being considered un-ad-friendly and age-restricted, which furthermore pushes my content down to the bottom of the barrel, which furthermore almost shadow bans me. It keeps getting more and more likely that I'm shadow banned, so let's not aim for that. Okay, so number one, talking about that unfair age restriction, basically it was just, it was probably because I had the words FU in the thumbnail, and that was probably not going to go over well anyway, but you know what, it's fine because it gets the point across perfectly nicely. That wasn't a sentence, but whatever. And then number two, also, I feel like it's very ironic that that video got age restricted in particular because it's the video that I'm talking about how YouTube systems are so messed up and they actually need human verification. So the way I propose an idea to YouTube, since they're probably monitoring my back very closely right now, is you guys train some AI bots by doing like 3 weeks of testing where they send you a video that they're on the fence of, like you obviously give some good, like, yes, this is good, no, this is bad, and then you kind of feed them some input, and then for a little bit, he'll bring you videos and go, is this good or not, and you manually say yes or no. So you train the bots to look out for something that isn't good, for example, pornographic material, straight up, snuff films, and everything in between, and then once that AI bot is trained, you still keep an eye on it in case it goes haywire again, but you can let it do its job for the most part, and I say you do that for a lot of things. Like, for example, the algorithm, you can tell what things to push or not in its training sequence, considering there is still a monument of fake phishing scams going around. And number three, the biggest idea is loosen up a little bit. I really meant it when it felt like a rope tightening around your neck. When all the guidelines are changing, because it genuinely feels like you're walking on an active earthquake. Everything is changing, shifting, cracking, and pushing around. It seems like one day you can upload this, and the next day it's completely banned, and if you upload it, your channel's terminated. But, of course, I would never do anything that risky, because, you know, once you're locked into YouTube systems, you're locked into them forever, and you can't get out of them. Amazing. So, that's pretty much all the points I had to bring up in this video. Pretty short, but I thought I'd just let you guys know why that happened. And, yeah. Just make sure that when you're posting content of your own, you make it literally impossible to be age restricted, and even still, add some extra precautions, because you don't know how YouTube's gonna bite you in the buttocks. Peace.